Guys, it's another episode of Campus Talks. Today I've got Darren, an interview. Welcome. Why don't you introduce yourself to us before we get started? How would you introduce yourself?
I hate it, but I think I've got it.
Yeah?
A little bit anyway. Anytime I like to introduce myself, I always like to actually start off by saying I'm dyslexic. And I know that's a bit odd.
Just to let people know.
But the reason why I let people know is just because for such a long time, first of all, I didn't know that I was dyslexic till like the very end of university. But then I now kind of hold it as a badge of honour. And the reason why I hold it as a badge of honour is just because, like, I don't know, you got likes like Richard Branson, Alan Sugar, Rooney, I don't know, Jamie Oliver. They're all dyslexic, but I've gone on to do amazing things, and I've just like to think that I interpret the world in a very unique way.
Yeah.
But it's helped me with my whole journey, and yeah.
Is there like a dyslexic test that one has to take?
Yeah, you have to take a test. And there's various little things, the various little indicators as to if you're dyslexic. I actually got tested when I was young.
Right.
And I didn't pass, but my mum, being African, she's like, this is not real, I'll pray about it.
But you're just fine.
Yeah, I wasn't fine.
To be honest, when I was young, they said I had asthma, they said I had speech therapy problems. Mm-hmm. I'm sure if I got tested for ADHD or compulsive disorder, I'll probably get one of those. Mm-hmm. I suppose if you go looking, you're always fine, right? So yeah, big up dyslexia. But
yeah.
I big up all the other things we haven't been treated for yet.
Apart from all that, though, like, I'm just your typical guy from Brixton.
Yeah.
Love music, watch football. Yeah. Just your average, regular guy kind of thing.
Fair play.
Yeah.
Tell me about Trim It.
Yeah, so Trim It in its simplest form is the UK's first app-powered mobile barbershop, and what that means is that we decided it would be a good idea to put a barbershop in the back of a van and allow you as a user to be able to book that to your location. So that could be your house, it could be your gym, it could be your office, but we can bring the barbershop experience to you.
When you started, originally that wasn't the business model.
No.
I know that you guys had a different experience. There's words that, there was a bad date.
Yeah.
Take us through that a bit.
That was actually a lie. So that's it. Yeah, that was actually a lie.
We're getting the truth.
Now that I've raised investment in that, I need to be truthful.
You've got a different story.
Yeah, so that was the story that I would tell investors in that. But the reality of how Trim It actually came about is that I was walking to my ex-girlfriend's house, and Trim It just came to me. So it's very uninspiring. Yeah. But the problem that we had, or the problem that I faced on a regular basis, was the fact that I could go to the barbershop.
You have to wait for a while.
And wait hours. Wait like 2-3 hours. And me as like a fast-paced kind of guy, we live in the social media age where like we want to consume things so quickly, and I didn't have time to go to the barbershop for 2 hours. I didn't want to see a Jamaican man drinking a Guinness and being there for the whole day. Like, I just wanted to get my hair cut, get a sick trim and cut. And the little disclaimer, I haven't had a trim for a bit of a while, but
same
yeah,
you can see but
there you go. But yeah, so that's how the idea came about, and basically the legacy business is all about bringing efficiency to that whole process and allowing a user to book themselves at the barbershop and be able to say, I want a haircut at 2 o'clock, walk into the barbers at 1:50 and get a haircut at 2.
So that was like business model 1.
Yeah.
And then business model 2, or did you have
business model 2 was simply bring the barbershop to the user. Yeah. And there's various reasons as to why we pivoted.
Okay. I think for me, this kind of series is going out to like entrepreneurs and people that want to become entrepreneurs. And sometimes people can be a bit stubborn with a plan, an idea they have. I know I definitely have when I've built my business projects in the past. What has been your process of knowing when to kind of pivot the model? Has it been looking at cash flow, or has it been the efficiency of the team you have? Like, what are some things now that you look back and in hindsight you can go and be like, right, cool, these are like things that made me know when to change the business model?
I think it's having like an ear very close to your customers.
Okay.
Something was going wrong. So at one point we had like over 2,000 bookings going through our system. Wow. But one, we weren't able to make any money from that. But then two as well, like I remember we'd get emails on a daily basis, and it'd be, like, I love the concept. I was able to, I booked my barber, but my barber wasn't in today, or my barber still made me wait, or it was a different barber that cut me. And I suppose when you have a bad experience with Uber, you're not complaining at the driver, you're complaining at the whole company. Yeah. And our brand was getting diminished like constantly. So when we decided to pivot and actually really control the whole experience, and I know it's mad putting a barbershop in the van, but what that enabled us to do is actually control the whole experience. Yeah. And the reason why we did that is because our ear was close to our customers, and we knew that something, we hadn't cracked it yet at that point. Yeah.
Yeah. So tell me about the experience of building something quite innovative. I think part of what I'm trying to do with this series is not just have interviews sat down in offices with people. I also want to kind of like understand what makes people kind of create things that don't exist in the market, or change perspectives or products that already kind of exist in. I personally haven't seen a mobile barbering service in a van coming to you. I've heard of barbers coming to you, like to your house or to your office with their own little kit, but a whole van, that's a bit different. When you were starting to pull together the ideas and the branding for the van, like van one, like what did you have to go through? Did you look at stuff in America? Did you have to start from absolute scratch? Was there nothing out there in the market? Walk me through a bit about that.
Yeah, so there was a guy in America that's done it. He didn't actually infuse tech, but he had definitely converted a van and made it into a barbershop. So that enabled us to have, a little viewpoint on what it could be. Definitely a lot of money behind him and his business. For us, which is a bit weird, but so I'll tell you how we actually built it.
Yeah, tell me. That people want to know.
So
have you discussed this before?
Yeah. Or no, not on the internet now. Cool. But yeah, so every morning I would be with the builders there, and we'd watch YouTube.
How many builders did you have?
We had 2.
Okay.
Yeah, we'd watch YouTube of like camper van conversions.
Okay.
No one knew what they were doing. The builders didn't know what they were doing, but they thought, this guy's mad. Let's try it. Yeah. I didn't know what I was doing, so my only input in the morning would be I cook them breakfast. I'd tell them, look, this is what we want to try and tackle today. Let's YouTube it. We'd YouTube it in the morning, and then from there we just go on and try and build it. The whole thing was very experimental. Like, it was a very much a DIY project. But by the end of it was like 14 days, but 10 working days, we had created something that I, for myself, was proud of. For a first kind of hit. If you see the van now, totally different ball game. It's crazy, but it's through all the learnings of the first one that we were able to apply it to the second. But that was the process. YouTube, English breakfast in the morning, and go and smash it out.
And what skills did these builders have? Like, were they electricians? Were they carpenters?
Your regular handyman, the people that just seem to know everything.
Did you find them on the internet?
Nah, so these are recommended. Like Josh, who's our creative director, founder of Pack as well. His dad is just like a handyman. Yeah. So his dad helped us. His dad then connected us with a guy that's more of a builder, and just from there, just made it. Yeah.
And did you buy a van originally and then strip it out?
Yeah, so we bought a white van. Okay. I always when I was reflecting on 2018, it was so weird because I started that year with a white van and ended up having trim it this business in it. So we stripped it out, and then from there just made the barbershop.
What were your kind of key learnings from 2018? Because obviously 2019 is a new year, you got new goals, you got investment now. But what were your key learnings just looking back?
Key learnings, one is, this is going to sound a little bit arrogant, but I know where I'm coming from with it, and it's that you just have to take all advice with a pinch of salt, even from someone that you may deem as the most knowledgeable guy in the world. I think one of the important things is that you as an individual really do understand your context more than anybody else, more than you'll be able to even articulate. So it's really important that you just go with your gut feeling. Yeah. It's really important that as long as you're a logical person, you understand that the decision that you've come to is from a place of logic and from a place of context. So that's one thing I've learned. Another thing which is kind of very fluffy, but it's just handle everything with love, and just make sure that anytime you're talking to someone, anytime you have an interaction with someone, they have a very sweet taste at the end of the conversation. Yeah. And that's just because there's so many little full circle moments and connections that are being made, and I know for a fact that Trim It is where it's at because of other people, and it's not necessarily because of just me and what the team are doing. It's just because of all the little destiny helpers that are opening doors without us even knowing. Yeah. And I suppose the last thing for us as well is when it comes to investment and when it comes to trying to raise money, the human side is what sells the most, especially at my stage. Obviously we had figures, obviously we could talk about traction and talk about the fact that we were booked out every day, but what I think really sold it was just the fact that I came on a real humble tip, and I was just me, at every point of the journey, or every point of the stage. So just be humble, treat everyone with love, and you know yourself better than everybody else.
Yeah, which is important. I suppose something I'm interested in knowing is, we spoke prior to this that this wasn't like the first kind of business adventure you tried to start. What have been your learnings from other projects that maybe you're not running no more, or you're walking away from? I know you went into music management, there's loads of things you've done. What have been your learnings that you now bring into this business from other experiences?
First one is cash is king. Everyone on the team will tell you I'm super cheap. Like, I'm cheap. And it's just because I just want there to be cash in the business at all times. I've experienced it having very little cash in the business, and now that there's a bit of money in the bank, I don't want to ever see that go below a certain point, kind of thing. So cash is king. What did you actually ask me? Or what are the learnings?
Yeah, just learnings from like the music stuff you did, the AI business you did. Like, is there transferable stuff you've kind of picked up? Cash is king is a big one.
Cash is king. Another thing, I suppose, is, I know everyone talks about making an excellent product and then the product will sell for itself. But for me anyway, I don't believe in that. I think you make a decent product and you spend some money marketing it. And sometimes people forget that marketing is such a massive aspect of any business. So that's another thing that I really learned from Keko, which is a previous business that kind of failed for me. And those are the two main ones I would say.
So on that, how do you approach marketing? Because you didn't study marketing at uni, did you? Like, do you watch like courses online? Are you always watching interviews? Are you looking at what other brands are doing? Like, even if it's not in the industry.
If I told you that I did the marketing, I'd be a massive liar. In fact, there's loads of things that I don't do within Trimit. How I approach marketing personally is I find someone that is sick at marketing and let them do their thing. I'm not a marketer, as you said. Song, who heads up our marketing now, he's incredible. We call him math, which is a combination of math and art. And he knows his thing, but I can't say I'm the marketer, so I don't really have any knowledge, or I can't really say anything in regards to that.
How did you guys meet and link, and when did you join the team?
So me and him were up against each other in a competition. And
then you brought him in.
Fortunately we won. But Song was just incredible, and we hit off from the jump. And for a year anyway afterwards, we would just stay in contact. He did a little Kickstarter campaign, and in 2 days made 25k just through social media, with his little hacks here and there. And I was like, whoa.
Samuel Wood. That's kind of stuff.
Really. Him and Sam actually want to link anyway, or Sam wants to link with Song. But he's just a hacker. He just knows how to do these little hacks that just make money. And at that point I was just like, I need this guy on the team. And he, in the space of I don't know how many months he's been with us, but things like 3 months, transformed the marketing. And I think there's a lot of vanity metrics that we were looking at. So it's look at our following, how many people are engaging with our posts, and he kind of flipped it in a way that now we know that those are all vanity metrics, and at the end of the day we care about sign-ups, we care about people that are booking, we care about essentially people who actually spending money with us, and that's what he's been able to kind of achieve. So I suppose he moves more into Google ads and kind of placement of your name in different places. Exactly.
Okay, so it's cool.
So he's good at what he does.
What do you do now then? So as you just started talking about, everyone does different things. What does your day-to-day operation look like?
Day-to-day is very, very...
And has it always been the same as well? Because now you've got a team.
No, it hasn't been the same. Post-investment, I'm really taking more of a high-level role. And what that means is just making sure in fact sometimes it turns into a bit of HR. I'm just ensuring that I'm empowering the team, making sure that everyone knows what they're doing. Everyone is empowered to, I suppose, treat the business like their own baby, because it is their own baby, and just keep on moving the business forward. We've got a philosophy in the business which is Kaizen, which means that every day we're trying to make little incremental improvements, just so by the end of a quarter or by the end of a month we can be whoa, we've actually achieved bits.
So explain how Kaizen works for you and what Kaizen is for the audience.
Kaizen is a Japanese philosophy, and it's all about, I think it's to do actually with the motoring industry, and it's all about literally just making little incremental improvements to a process, and as a result there being a massive change by the end of the I don't know, the period kind of thing. So
how do you implement it in your team? Is it through like weekly tasks, or is it through...
Yeah, so we have one-on-ones. We actually have a daily morning meeting, and what we do is discuss like what happened yesterday, what were the downfalls, what can we do to improve. We have one-on-ones every week, and as a result, through doing that, like I can understand the frustrations, what ideas people have, how I can enable them to kind of push these ideas forward. I suppose Nathan especially, he's the ears of the customer. So Nathan has like a lot of data in regards to what the customer wants and little things we can implement there. So we can do it on a macro scale, but do it on a very, very like a minute scale as well, which is sick.
What are some kind of key things that people who are looking to build products in 2019 or services in 2019 that are entering like big industries that already exist, what are key things that an entrepreneur should look at when they're trying to bring innovation to the market? Is you've kind of touched on it a little bit already, like in terms of decent product but strong marketing. Is there other, like if I was making a bit of a checklist, like me and you about to start up a new business, tackling the gardening industry and making gardeners come to you, or trying to change the light bulb industry, I always like giving the audience a bit of like things they can take away. What would be kind of like some takeaway points that someone entering a new industry could like learn from your experience, or from your kind of thought process?
Takeaways, it's a difficult one because I can't say I was blessed with like this crazy mind and
but you've learned
I've learned, but as I said, like trim actually just came to me. So it's not like I was doing deep research into the barbering industry, and as a result, like I was like, yes, I've cracked it.
But once it came to you, what are things? So like the moment it came to you, there was a big period between that and going live and where it is now. Like you have to learn about vehicles, you have to learn about appointments. There's a lot that goes into it. So yeah,
in that case, there's two things. So one is like I'm extremely perseverant, and it's one of those ones where like there's no task. So yesterday I was complaining about the fact that I couldn't figure something out, but there's actually no task that I think I can't do. And maybe I'm overconfident, but there's literally no task I think myself or the team can't do. So it's just having the mindset that like even though there's problems or obstacles in your way, there are workarounds and there are ways you can actually go about achieving it. And I suppose the second thing that I think is really important when you're trying to enter a new industry, or when you're entering a business. In fact, now I've got three, so they're coming to me. When you're entering a new field, you need to actually just be really real with yourself and understand what skills you have to bring it into reality, and then work your way, reverse engineer that and work your way backwards. As I said, I'm not a marketer. I'm definitely not design led. In fact, Trim It was actually originally meant to be called Vim Trim. Thank God for Joss, because that name is so dead. But yeah, just work your way backwards and actually just make sure that like you have the team around you that can actually bring it to life. And then I suppose the last thing for us as well was oh no, that's so annoying, because I had three really good ones.
So two came strong.
Okay, cool. We'll leave it at two just for now.
Just for now. Well, thank you for giving us the time today. So where can people follow you guys, and how can people sign up for a haircut? Yeah,
sure. So if you're looking for a sick fade, you can follow us on Instagram, trimit.app, or Twitter, which is trimit_app. And simply download the app, which is also on Trimit. We're literally number one. So if you type in Trimit, you definitely find us. Respect.
Love. Thank you for that.